It started as a simple text, one wrong number, one accidental message. Emily never imagined it would change her life. She was just a small-town schoolteacher, struggling to make ends meet, caring for her sick mother and living a quiet life. But when she hit send, and the message pinged in the phone of a 4-star general halfway across the world, everything changed. Within minutes, her street filled with black SUVs, flashing lights, and the thunder of boots on pavement. Neighbors peeked from windows, terrified. Emily stood frozen in her doorway, phone still in hand, wondering, what did I just do? Emily Carter woke up before dawn, her small alarm clock glowing faintly in the dim room. The early morning silence pressed against her, broken only by the steady rhythm of her mother's breathing in the next room. The house was old, the wallpaper peeling, the air heavy with the scent of lemon cleaner she used every night after work. She was tired, exhausted in a way that sleep never seemed to fix. Between double shifts at the diner and caring for her bedridden mother, Emily felt like she was running on fumes, constantly chasing something that stayed just out of reach. That morning, the final notice on the kitchen counter stared back at her like a threat. Rent was due in 3 days. She had barely half. She tried to breathe through the panic, pouring herself a cup of coffee she couldn't afford, hands trembling. Her landlord, Mr. Daniels, wasn't a bad man, but he had rules, strict ones. She picked up her phone, thumb hovering over his contact. Maybe if she asked, just one more week. She'd never done it before, never begged. But this time, she had no choice. She typed quickly, her heart pounding, Mr. Daniels, please, I just need one more week. I swear I'll make it right. She stared at the message for a moment, bit her lip, and hit send before she could lose courage. The phone clicked softly, and she set it down beside her coffee mug. For a fleeting second, she felt lighter. Then she turned back to stir the thin soup on the stove, humming softly, trying to pretend everything was fine. The buzz of her phone startled her. She wiped her hands on her apron and checked the screen, expecting her landlord's reply. But the message that blinked back at her made her blood run cold. Greater than, who is this? State your name. She frowned, confusion furrowing her brow. Mr. Daniels never spoke like that. Was he angry? She typed back quickly, trying to fix it before things got worse. Greater than, it's Emily. I just need a little more time. Please don't be upset. Seconds later, another reply appeared, sharp and terrifying. Greater than, Emily, this is General Mason Carter, United States Joint Command. You've reached a classified number. Do not send another message. Her stomach dropped, her breath caught in her throat. A general, classified number, this had to be some kind of scam. Her fingers shook as she typed again. Greater than, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Wrong number. She barely had time to set the phone down before the ground began to tremble. A low rumble built into a thunderous roar. Outside, headlights blazed through the windows, tires screeched, and the sound of boots striking pavement filled the air. Emily froze, heart racing. A knock shook the door, loud enough to rattle the hinges. Ma'am, open up. U.S. Military. She backed away, trembling. This couldn't be happening, not over one wrong text. But as she turned the handle, the sight that met her eyes proved it was all terrifyingly real. Emily's hand trembled as she opened the door, her heartbeat pounding like a drum in her ears. The cold morning air rushed in, carrying with it a sound she'd never forget, the synchronized thud of hundreds of boots on pavement, the hum of engines idling, and the rhythmic bark of commands echoing through the quiet neighborhood. Outside her small house, an entire convoy had gathered, a sea of black SUVs lined the street, red and blue lights flashing silently. Camouflaged soldiers stood at attention, armed and alert, their faces hidden behind dark visors. A massive helicopter circled overhead, its blades chopping through the dawn air, sending ripples through her hair. At the front of it all stood a tall man in a dark green uniform, medals glinting across his chest, jaw tight with authority. He stepped forward with measured precision, eyes narrowing as he studied her face. Ma'am, he said firmly, you sent a text message to a secure line belonging to Joint Command. Identify yourself. Emily's voice caught in her throat. I'm Emily Carter. I didn't mean to. I was just texting my landlord. Please, it was an accident. The man didn't flinch. Behind him, soldiers were already scanning the perimeter, speaking into radios, securing the area as if preparing for a high-value operation. One soldier lifted a drone into the air, another took position near her porch. The scene looked like something out of a movie, yet it was terrifyingly real. The general took a slow breath. "You're saying you sent that message by mistake?" "Yes, I swear," she cried, clutching her phone. "I'm just a waitress. I don't know anything about classified numbers." He gestured for an officer to step forward. The man took her phone carefully, examining the screen. "Sir," he said quietly, "she's telling the truth. Random civilian contact. Wrong number." The general's expression softened slightly, though his voice remained steady. "Ma'am, do you realize the number you texted is encrypted and restricted to national security operations? Only top clearance personnel have access. We had to treat this as a potential breach." Emily blinked, struggling to breathe. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I just wanted to ask for a little more time to pay rent." Something shifted in his face, the hardened lines of a soldier softening just a bit as he looked past her into the dim little house. The faded curtains, the peeling wallpaper, the scent of cleaning supplies still lingering. Behind her, a frail voice called from the bedroom, "Emily." "What's happening?" The general's eyes followed the sound. He saw the small oxygen tank by the bed, the old woman struggling to sit up. Then he looked back at Emily, scared, apologetic, exhausted. He straightened his jacket. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "you're not in trouble. But you might want to step outside. We'll need to clear the property for a moment." Emily nodded, clutching her phone to her chest as soldiers carefully began their sweep. She never could have guessed, this accidental message would soon become the turning point of her life.